Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Funhouse. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the brakes on this 2008 Toyota Highlander. The practice, the methodology, it's pretty similar no matter what car you're working on. So if you don't have this exact car, don't be discouraged. It's probably the same procedure for whatever car you have, or at least strikingly similar. So stay tuned, and let's get started. First things first, there's a tire in our way. If you were using a lug wrench to get this off, I would say crack all your lug nuts loose before you lift up the car. That way your tire stays still for you. I have chocks on the back wheels so it can't roll away. I don't have it jacked up yet. I'm just going to loosen these, and then we'll lift the car up and take them off the rest of the way and get the wheel off. Okay, I'm gonna lift it up by putting the jack in this divot under the control arm, where I'm confident that the cup won't slide out. And now I'll put this under the subframe as a little measure of insurance. Yeah, I think I like that. Here's a little trick that a buddy of mine reminded me of. After you take your tire off, slip it under your frame. Then if the car falls off the jack, at least it won't hit the ground. Okay, the wheel is off. In case you didn't know, here's a rotor. Here's your caliper. Here's a caliper bracket. And these are your pads. We need to change the rotors because they're warped, and we're going to change the pads. There are a set of bolts holding the bracket on, and there's a set of bolts holding the caliper on. Normally, if you're just going to replace the pads, you would just loosen up the bolts from the caliper, leave the bracket behind. These are, I believe, 14 millimeter. And you would take these off, remove the caliper, hang it from a wire, and put new pads on and reinstall it. However, I'm also putting new rotors on, so I'm going to be taking the bracket off as well. And that, my friends, is considerably bigger, I believe, than the 14. That is 18 millimeter. It's a little bit loose. Let me see if the 17 is a better fit. Oh yeah, 17 millimeter on this particular car, guys. So we're going to crack loose these 17 millimeter bolts on the bracket, take the bracket and the caliper off all at once. And first we'll try and turn it the correct way instead of tightening it. That's good and snug, huh? Oh, come on. We need a bigger ratchet. Okay, bigger ratchet, bigger socket, more leverage. Let's see what happens. We got no room to swing. Okay, that one is nice and loose. And so's that one. It's a hot one today, guys. Good thing you can't smell me. I'm stinking like a dead goat. Phew. Can you guys see? Let me show you exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, see that bolt there? That's the top one. Alright, that's off. And now let's see if I can get this hooked onto that coat hanger that I got here. Woo, beefy. One pad's falling out. Okay. Gently get that out of the way. I don't remember if this comes off without any kind of fastener. I think it did. I wouldn't recommend doing this to a part that you plan to reuse, by the way. We are replacing these, so if I mess it up, no big deal. Ta-da! Alright guys, the reason for that is corrosion down around here. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a cleaning so we don't have the same problem ever again. And I'll put a little anti-seize on it so it doesn't rust up and do that again. Alright, just going to put a little bit of anti-seize. Hopefully we don't have that problem next time. And there is our new rotor. Ain't she pretty? Now, let's see what we do about these brake pads. Okay, so me personally, I have always just used a clamp and sent the pistons from the caliper open all the way. But somebody tried telling me that you're not supposed to do this anymore, and that it messes up the anti-lock brakes. I've been doing this on cars with anti-lock brakes. I've never had a problem, but that doesn't mean I'm right. So if anybody knows better than me, or can vouch for this other guy's story, if I'm doing this wrong, if I'm giving out bad advice, if you shouldn't be doing this with a C-clamp, please let me know, because I would never want to teach people how to do things the wrong way. But I've never had a problem. All my cars have anti-lock brakes, and this is how I do the brake jobs on them. I've spoken to other guys who do this stuff for a living. They say they do it this way too. Are we wrong? Are we idiots? Are we messing up the car? You let me know. But I've got the old pad on there, and I'm using it to push on the pistons so I don't mess up the new pad or the piston. I think I'm good, but I'm just going to do this one more time to play it safe. Okay. And I think that's bottomed out. I mean, if the fluid can't flow backwards, how do the brakes release? I know it's a very minute amount, but some fluid does flow backward. Alright, it took some doing, but the new pads are in, the caliper is back on again. I'm going to get my piece of coat hanger out before I forget about it. You don't want that staying behind, wreaking havoc, dragging on your tire, scratching things up. Who knows what kind of damage it would do. And I'm going to put the tire back on. But then I'm going to do the other side, and on the other side I'm going to show you how to do it if you were just doing the pads. Okay, so this is what you can expect to see when you take the caliper off the bracket. You got your pads, and you got these spring doohickeys and these spring clips over here that hold it in for you while you're trying to do everything. And this is what it looks like when you take the old stuff out. This is what you have to make it look like when you go to put the new stuff in. So I'm going to pop these off. Watch they don't shoot across the room on you. Take these out. You can see I already did the caliper. And so if you look, these have a C shape to them, and they're both universal in that if you flip it upside down, there is no inboard, outboard, no left and no right. So let's see. I can't really see what I'm doing, but I can feel. Okay, that's where I want that. And then same thing here. Kind of put it outside the spring clips and then push it in. All right. I already did the thing with the C-clamp, where I clamped the caliper to close it up. And as you can see, if you're just doing the pads, this is a pretty quick and easy job. It astounds me when I hear people telling me that they're getting charged $500 for a brake job. I'm like, I don't know, it takes 20 minutes, a half hour. I did forget to put these in. I don't know truly how important they are, because other manufacturers don't use these. I think they're supposed to reduce drag when you're not on the brakes, which will make them last longer, give you better gas mileage, things like that. See that, guys? Okay. Now I give them a little squeeze. I put the back side of the caliper on first and then rocked the front on while I squeezed with my hand, just to try to help everything cooperate. I've got the caliper roughly where it's got to go. Sorry guys, I'm recording on my phone and it's throwing a fit. Trying to say that my memory is full even though I deleted a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, get my bolt started. Get these snugged up. All right, that's nice and snug. Get my coat hanger out of here before I forget. Put your wheels back on. When you get everything put back together and you start the car, pump the brakes a few times to get the fluid back in here and get the pads against the caliper. Try and do that before you drive, because you might have a real scary experience where the pedal goes to the floor. So pump it up before you drive. And that's about it. Let's get this wheel back on and call it a day. Okay, I'm in the car. I hit the brakes to start it, which I didn't even think about, but give these a few pumps. It wouldn't hurt to check your brake fluid too. Although usually doing a brake job raises your brake fluid level, because now your pistons and your calipers are not sticking out as far as they were. But okay, we don't have any brake light or anything, so that's a good sign. Let's put her in reverse. And the car didn't move, so that's a good sign. Well, it sure feels like we have brakes. Let's see how they feel going forward. Your front brakes are 75% of your braking, or 70%, somewhere in that range. Oh yeah. Oh, she stops on a dime. Alrighty folks, I think that is a completed brake job, at least for the front brakes. Stay tuned for the back ones. Thanks for watching me. Love you guys. Have a good one.